Hey guys, just back with another C# tutorial. So I apologize if you saw the last video. I wasn't able to add a proper the app. So what happened is I have a Windows recording software. It only records one screen at a time. So even if I did get this app box, the window, when I clicked the sky or whatever, we didn't get the dialog pop. The dialog pop-up box didn't catch in the recorder. So one of the, unfortunately, me including it would just be this thing, and the text box would change. So I didn't really bother to include it, most likely because I haven't uploaded it yet, but I probably won't. I'm gonna try to update my recording software going forward. One of the popular ones, recording software that's free that YouTubers use for screen recording, doesn't catch my mic, I think. Actually, I might be wrong. I might have to try it again because I have a different mic now. I'm not sure if it was working or not. I'll give it one more go, just to try it out. But anyways, we'll continue on with the tutorial, so hopefully you guys were able to follow along. You guys learned what was happening. Just the dialog box didn't pop up, and the text box didn't change on. You guys didn't see what actually happens when you click it, but hopefully it made sense from what we learned. So we'll just move on to a few more things here before we move on to data types in C#. So we have the visible property. So the visible property, controls have a visible property that determines whether the control is visible on the format runtime or not. Sorry, just touched the mic by accident. Okay, so we have, so the visible property is a Boolean property, which means that it only has two values, which are true and false. So if a control's visible property is set to true, the control will be visible on the format runtime. If it's set to false, it won't be visible. So by default, the visible property is set to true. So we can get that visible property in the properties window. So it's right here at the bottom. It's set to true. So we could turn it to false. Basically, I had a card flip application here, or a card flip app. You click one button, one card shows the face. At the same time, it turns the other card to invisible, which turns the face down to the back of the card. I don't think we really need to do that. It's pretty straightforward. So it's just a button. We've clicked a button before. We've already done that, and we know how to use a picture box from the last tutorial. Setting one to visible or not, we really could just do that here. So what we could do, actually, yeah, we could just quickly do something here for that. So what we could do is we could have, so our name of our control here for our picture box should just be PictureBox1 because we didn't change it. So if we just go to our code and have a look, we could actually get another one of the so let's just say we click this one here. So we got our label 2 at the bottom. So at the end of the app, we want to just hide the picture. So all we can do is we can say PictureBox1 dot set dot visible. PictureBox1 dot visible. Just spelled wrong. Visible. VIS. Dot visible points to false. So you can either set PictureBox visible to true or you can set PictureBox. You can set the PictureBox to false, so true or false. So obviously it's only one or the other, so that might cause an error. So we just want one of them. So I've commented the exception out. We'll go over exceptions later on. So we have here, which is uncommented, picture. Actually, we can just delete that. So PictureBox 1. What we're gonna do is when we click the bottom label, we're gonna click it, then PictureBox 1. The visibility will be set to false, so it should just hide the picture after everything is done. So I'm going to save that. I'm going to click the designer window. Actually, we can maybe just illustrate. Does it pop up here? Let's try that. So I'm going to run it. Again, you won't be able to see it, but I'll explain what's going to happen. Okay, so it did pop up in the code area. So I'm going to click the sky. It's going to say little pop-up box is going to come up, call the sky, or it's going to say the sky. I'm going to click OK, and then it's going to say at the bottom, the text box is going to change to you click the sky. I'm going to click the text box, and then the picture is going to disappear. So that should be all fine. We could change the text box to say, after we click after the picture disappears, we could change the top text box to the picture disappeared, but you guys get the idea. You guys know how to play around with it now, at least from whatever I've showed you at this point. So just play around with it. If you're interested in making the text box disappear, you can just set it and change it. Alright, so let's move on, because there's a lot in C# to go through. So we'll continue here. Alright, so we have sequential execution of statements. So we could have set one to true, and then later we could set it to false at some other point. We could skip that. Okay, so comments, blank lines, and indentation. We've gone over comments, blank lines. Whoops, sorry. This is a blank line. Indentation, so this is from the square bracket to the P. If you didn't learn in English or whatever, that's an indentation. If maybe English is your second language, so this is the curly brace, or so the curly bracket. So from the curly bracket to the start of the P, let's actually just move that back up. So from the curly bracket, bottom of the curly bracket to the first start of the P, that's an indentation. It's usually a set number of spaces, so it's like, let's just see how many spaces it is. Okay, whoops. 1, 2, 3, 4. I believe it's 4. So an indentation is 4 spaces. Should be 4 spaces. Something like that. It could be depending on your software, so just be careful with that. Or your app, so just be careful with that. So we could move on. There are 3 types of comments in C#. Line comments, which is this. Block comments. Let's see what we have here. So you could put the comments after here if you want as well. You could take up a whole line, you could put it after the code. You can't put it before the code because it'll comment it out. So a block comment uses the asterisks. So we can have a bunch of text here. And then we can have, do this here with a slash and a star. And then we could do a star and then a slash. So it's exactly like Java, I believe. A lot of other languages may use that too. So basically everything stars, so slash, asterisk, and then asterisk slash. This is a block comment. Whoops. That's a block comment. That's pretty much all you really need to know. Alright, so we can close an application's form. So as you know, on our form here we have an X button. So usually I close it with the X button. You can also use the command to close it, or the line of code. So we've usually used the standard Windows close button, which is the X button, which is in the upper right corner of pretty much every window or form. So you can also use another way to close the form. So we can use this.close. So we can say this.close. So we'll learn about this keyword later on. Just for now, just remember that it accesses. That we're basically just calling the window. Alright, so let's put that in the code somewhere. Let's go for an exit button here. So I'm going to click systems.windows.forms. I'm going to click the button, double click it, should pop up somewhere. So you have to double click the control and then click the form for it to pop up. So just make that a bit bigger there. Okay, so button 1, we'll click font, make the size a bit bigger here. There we go. So we'll then change the text to close. So we'll change the text property here to just close. That didn't change it. No. Okay. Why is that? Oh, okay. Uh-oh. What did I change? I changed something else. Okay, what did I change here? Oh, messed that up. Oh, sorry. I changed the text to the window. So let's just go with Windows app. Windows app. So click the button to get the bounding box up. Then click the text property. Then click the text property, and then we'll change that to exit. Actually, exit or close, whatever. So exit works. So we'll have exit here. Then now we have our button saying exit. We have the name button 1. Or just go with exit button. Camel cased. Alright, so exit button. We'll double click that exit button to get an event handler. So then here we'll just say exit. No, sorry, we'll say this.close. Save that. This.close, so let's run that app. Alright, so I'll just play around with some things here. You click the sky, PictureBox disappears, exit. So yeah, so that works. So if you click the exit button, the app closes. So this just closes the windows, the window, or the form. So it closes the window or the form. That's pretty much it. Might just finish this one off a little bit quick. So we have basically syntax errors. So in your IDE, if you have an error, you'll see a jagged red line underneath the code showing that it's an error. In this area here, it'll tell you. So if you can see my mouse below here, in the run or problems tab, you'll see, maybe in the build tab, you'll see that. Usually I'll just stay in the run tab. But you'll see, it'll tell you what line number and space, the error occurred. So a syntax error exists in the project code, basically because the code form of the syntax was wrong, such as a spelling mistake or something like that. You missed a curly bracket, or you forgot a semicolon, you accidentally put an extra symbol in there or something. So a syntax error basically is also a build error. So a syntax error the IDE will try to report to you that there's a build error. It's not necessarily the same, so don't sorry for the confusion. So we'll just continue here. There's also logical errors. So a logical error is something that's, for example, if you tried to, in your code, let's just say you tried to divide 20 by 3 and you didn't get the correct answer, but it gave you like an answer. Or let's say you divided 10 by 2, you got 5. But you really were expecting 6. But the code still ran. If the code still ran, it's not a syntax error, it's just a logical error. So there is no build error in that case as well. Alright, so that should be pretty much finishing up the intro to GUI, so we got a lot more to discuss. So before we get into any more of the coding, we'll be learning about the types. So we're going to take a break from GUI design for a bit, kind of get back into what I do before, just like code practice if you've seen my other videos. So we'll just be getting into some code practice and stuff like that. Maybe do we do text box? Okay, so we may do a little bit of text box stuff first, which I thought we already did. But text box is okay. So we'll have some text box stuff. We'll get input from the user, and then we'll get into variables. So just one more thing, then we'll get into variables. That's gonna start getting into variables though with the text boxes. We'll talk about strings, numbers, local variables, globals, all that. Same idea, pretty much what we do every time. So then we'll get into some more code practice, making a few forms with some variable stuff. So let's just start off with that. That'll be a couple of videos. We'll then get into data types. Actually, maybe I'll just give you guys a little bit more rundown of what's coming up. So different types. Then we'll do some math operations, precision, a certain amount of decimals. We'll get into exception handling. So some of these things that we commented out, exceptions here, throw, new, and all that, we'll get into some of those. Let's see what else we have. We'll talk about fields, which are basically global variables. So we'll basically, I think they're called fields are called basically global variables in C. C#. We'll talk about those. Couple math constant stuff or things. Keyboard access stuff. We can maybe set up some shortcuts here in our form. Color properties. Okay, there's quite a bit of stuff to discuss just in this chapter alone. Okay. Debugger. We may run through that. Probably will actually. I usually do the work of the debugger. Okay, so that's about it. That's going to be about a week of videos in itself. Then we'll go on to ifs. So yeah, we'll just talk about that for now. The chapters do get shorter after that for a while. Still a lot though. Basically all the types. Booleans, if, else. So booleans, if, and else. That'll be the next chapter after this. So we'll get into all that. Pretty easy stuff. So thanks for watching, guys. If you guys like the tutorial, you can like and subscribe for more programming and investing tutorials. So thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.